So you have intimacy. Wow, okay. And freedom. Okay. Already, like I'm already getting some messages here and kind of feeling this energy. This person is feeling very, very comfortable with you right from the beginning. There's this feeling of closeness, this feeling of familiarity right from the beginning of this connection. We also have worth waiting for you. Okay, so let's look at this. I feel like already your future spouse or partner is immediately going to feel this immense sense of comfort with you. They find you to be a very nurturing and comforting soul, and that's one of the first things that draws them to you. They feel so comfortable in your presence. They feel safe in your presence. What I'm picking up on here is that this is so odd. This is actually very strange, so I hope that this makes sense, but it's almost like it actually makes them feel initially a little uncomfortable with how comfortable they are with you, because they might find themselves kind of opening up to you initially, feeling more engaged, feeling more talkative than they might usually, feeling like they want to share deep parts of themselves, or share things that they normally would kind of keep to themselves, things that they would hold on tight to them for themselves. And it's like they feel this draw to open up, to talk, to share, to connect in a way that's unfamiliar to them. For many of you, I feel like this person does open up to you right away. But in some cases, this person might kind of hold back at first, because this feeling of being so free to be themselves and to really be seen by you is completely foreign to them. It's totally foreign. So I feel like these are energies that for some of you in your connection initially, you won't even hear this person verbalize that this is how they're feeling in this connection. They won't verbalize this information because they feel so uncomfortable feeling comfortable. They feel so out of their depth being seen like this. I feel like this person too, right away, they kind of feel like everything that they've gone through so far in terms of relationships, in terms of being hurt in relationships, because I do feel like a lot of what they have to open up about is centering around this heart-centered energy here. So this could be about their past hurts, their past experiences, lessons they've learned, maybe pain and trauma that they've experienced. I feel like they kind of feel like every way that they've been challenged in relationships is almost worth it as soon as they meet you, because they're able to understand and recognize true intimacy when they connect with you. And it's almost like this has turned on some sort of light bulb for them, and it's making them see that even in connections in the past where they thought they had that intimacy, or they thought they had that closeness, they thought they were being understood and they were being acknowledged for who they really are, they realize in even a short amount of time interacting with you that intimacy wasn't actually present in some of these other relationships. And for them, this is part of what's making them feel maybe a little bit uncomfortable, because depending on this person's background, they could have been in very serious connections leading up to this relationship with you. This could even be someone who was married or who was in a very serious long-term commitment. When we look at the rest of the energies, we'll see if we pick up on any of that in terms of their past. But it's like, if they were, let's say, married or with someone for a number of years, and they thought they were experiencing this deep bond and this deep connection, I feel like within a short amount of time interacting with you, they're able to kind of see and nail down that connection wasn't everything that they thought it was. That connection wasn't as it wasn't quite as powerful or as deep as they may have thought. So I do see that initially this bond with you, even if it starts out very casual, there's something going on beneath the surface for them. It's not quite as casual to them. There's a lot that they're realizing. There's a lot that they're putting together, even about experiences that they had before they met you. it's almost like they wouldn't have understood that they hadn't truly been in this sort of intimate relationship that they want until they meet you. So I do get kind of a mix of feelings here initially at the beginning of this, because I do think on some level that's hurtful, disappointing, and confusing to this person to understand that past relationships really weren't living up to their expectations, and they might not have even realized that. But at the same time, it's so enlightening, and I just feel this sense of gratitude for knowing what true love and acceptance is. And I feel like this person is feeling these sort of deep emotions initially in this connection, and they're understanding that maybe they never truly understood it before. I feel like they let you see inside of them very early on. At least they feel like they do. So they may share something with you that maybe on the surface you don't realize how much it takes for them to open up. But they can share things with you right in the beginning that kind of, it frightens them at first, that they felt comfortable enough to share that, or that they did kind of expose as part of themselves to you. But what I'm really picking up on here is it's your response that makes the difference. It's your response to the way that they open up to you that reassures them and kind of lets them know that you're a safe place for them. That's how it feels. It's very safe, and it really is just kind of a feeling that they get from you initially, which kind of has them opening up a little quicker than they might have thought. They're really drawn to the way that you give them the space to be themselves. And it's like you don't try to control them or control the direction of the relationship. You just allow things to unfold. You just let them be. You let them be who they are. So these are the things that initially draw them to you. This could even be like you appreciate their sense of humor, or you share common interests with them, or even if they share something with you that isn't one of your interests. It's like the way that you're engaged, the way that you listen, the way that you ask questions to get more information. It shows them that you're really interested in them. You're really interested in who they are as a person, and that really draws them in. And that's just you, though. That's just like your ability to connect with people on that deep level, to see to the heart of who they really are, and to kind of establish that I don't want to say bond, because like I just get the feeling that you're very personable in that way. And that's what they are noticing and appreciating about you right from the beginning. So looking at this energy, I will say that for some of you, this relationship does become physical very quickly. So you might be physically intimate with this person very early on in the connection. Or these feelings of physical attraction are present right from the beginning of the connection. There is also this feeling that this relationship marks the end of a dry spell for one or both of you. So this could even be an end of a period of waiting for this connection to completely come together. So for some of you, this might be a connection that you have waited for, where there was a period of separation, or there was a period of things moving very slowly. And there's this feeling of waiting for it to unfold. But for others of you, I feel like some of you may have taken a step away from dating before you meet this person, or your future spouse or partner has taken a step away from dating. And it's like kind of this feeling of like drawing inward and not connecting with people on this level. And I feel the energy I'm getting from this is that was an intentional choice. So if this was on your end or on their end, I just feel like when you meet this person, even if one or both of you have made the intentional choice to not date or to not be intimate with a partner for a period of time, or until you sort some things out, or maybe you're in a period of soul searching or something like that, it's like there's something about this connection that changes that, and it puts an end to that dry spell, whether it was by chance or whether it was a conscious choice of yours. I feel like this puts an end to it. And I do feel like some of you, I do feel like some of you may have met this person, and if this is a connection where this person kind of feels like they might be in a period of delay, or this connection is taking a break, this is showing that the level of intimacy that they feel with you, that they felt with you before this break occurred, is really what makes you unforgettable to them. So even if there is this period of not exploring this connection, or this period of distance, what they remember is this feeling of intimacy, this feeling of freedom to be themselves and to be free with you. Yeah, to them, this is why this connection is unforgettable, and this is why they will wait. They will wait if they have to, is kind of how I'm hearing it. Because initially that bond and that connection is so strong. So let's look at what this person is drawn to. What is going on? What makes this person initially recognize you? How do they know that you're the one? How do they know that they want to spend more time with you? So we have Saboteur. Okay, that's very interesting energy. Let's move this over here. Wow, you guys, you triggered this person. So I feel like as this relationship develops, and honestly, from the initial energies that I was picking up on, this might happen a lot sooner for them than they would think, but you really triggered this person. And one of the main ways that they recognize this connection as significant and as meaningful is that you are triggering them. You do have the ability to trigger them. This could be a person who always kind of saw themselves as someone who would remain single, or someone who never saw themselves falling in love again after being in long-term relationships, or relationships that they viewed as important in the past. They may have kind of said, this isn't for me. This whole love thing, this whole relationship thing, getting married, whatever it might be, it's just not for me, and it's not my path. So they could have always viewed themselves that way, or they could have viewed themselves that way for a really long time. This could even be somebody who never really believed in love. Like, they might have seen long-term relationships or committed relationships and marriage as more of like a logical choice, and I almost want to say like a business transaction. Like, they may think that there are beneficial reasons to be in a connection, but they never really felt that heart-centered thing that makes you want to commit to somebody. And I feel like when you come into their life, you just turn their whole world upside down. You turn their whole perception about relationships and how it's supposed to go and what it should feel like upside down. In a lot of ways, and this is going to sound a little strange, but this is this energy here. It's like you ruin whatever plans they had for themselves for their future, because now they're starting to look at things differently. They're starting to question what they really want. They're feeling more attached than they anticipated, and I just get the feeling it's like more attached than unbothered. And this is somebody who maybe tries to remain unbothered, or who always saw themselves as someone who wouldn't let their emotions get the best of them. But it's this feeling of sabotaging this goal of theirs to remain single, or to remain unattached, to remain unemotional. Yeah. It makes them question, what do they want to experience? What do they want to give? What do they want to share? Who do they want to be? What kind of relationship do they want to have? And as they get to know you, it's like one thing after another, like, well, that was my plan and now that's not going to work. It's like complete sabotage to any plan that they had of not feeling this way, not feeling this intimate, connected way. That's really interesting energy, and it kind of makes me laugh because I just see their plans although they were well intentioned, it's like they weren't necessarily the best or the most healthy plans for them. And when you come into their life, they start to shift towards something that feels more fulfilling, something that feels more supportive, it feels more beautiful, it feels more free. But it's a shakeup. It's like it's a shift in direction for them, even though it does feel better. So it's like you kind of bring out all of their fears, all of the emotions that they plan to avoid. Every door they thought would remain locked forever. I just have this vision of you kind of showing up with the key. It's like, oh, you thought that door was locked? Well, here comes the key for it. And they're like, wait, wait, what happened? Like, this is not what I planned. It feels like a lot of their ideas or their beliefs are being challenged by this connection. This relationship wants them to be different. It makes them long for different things than they thought they would, things that they thought that they could be perfectly happy without. It really shifts things for them. But it's like you make them see a different part of themselves. And it's almost like at first they don't even recognize themselves when they come into this connection, because you change their heart and their mind so quickly that it's like they don't even know who they are for a minute. So I can see why this person would recognize you as their spouse or future long-term partner, because this is such a shakeup in energy. It's something that's so different. They can't ignore it. Anytime you're like your beliefs and your basic foundation is being challenged like that, it makes this person really kind of wake up and think about this. Like, what is this? What's happening? Where did this connection come from? What does this mean? And so they start to realize that. So let's look at your tea leaf cards. I actually pulled these for you ahead of the reading, so we will see how this kind of relates to this energy. What do we have here? Okay, we have wreath, and this is sorrow over a loss. And we also have flute, disappointment in a friend or lover. So I'm starting to see here where some of these beliefs, or where some of these, I almost want to call them rules that they set for themselves, because it does feel like this connection breaks some sort of rule, it breaks some sort of barrier. I'm starting to see where that has come from, because we have this person who maybe was feeling sorrow over a connection falling apart. Like this card says here, disappointment in a friend or a lover. So this could be a relationship of theirs that fell apart. This could be betrayal that they've experienced in several of their relationships. And I feel like without realizing it, they may have almost barricaded themselves, is how it feels. As a protective measure. They kind of created this barrier between them and anything they could feel very emotional about. So this connection is challenging them in that way. It is a shakeup in that way. And I feel like they've either experienced this loss firsthand, or they witnessed things not working out in the past. So this could even be things from their childhood. This could be someone who has decided from the time that they were a child that like this love thing really wasn't for them, or they weren't going to get too close, or even the feeling of like not wanting to be intimate with someone, or never being able to imagine being very intimate, being very exposed, showing somebody all of maybe the darker sides of your personality, everything in all the nooks and crannies. It's like this could be someone who just never imagined themselves feeling comfortable enough with another person, period, to do that. And this relationship has changed their outlook on that. If they do come from divorce, because this was another thing that was coming up, they watched their parents split up when they were young. They've gone through painful breakups themselves, things like that. It's like witnessing these things and experiencing those emotions kind of made them feel like they never wanted to make themselves susceptible to that type of energy. They kind of have this energy like they didn't think they were going to let themselves go soft, is how this is coming through. They didn't think that they would almost melt like this. And I feel like because this intimate feeling comes on so early, it's just such an initial feeling that they have. It's almost this feeling of them like them melting and then them giving in. internally, because I do feel like they might hold this to themselves for a while, but it's like they melt and they give in a lot quicker than they thought they would. And for some of you, this person never thought that they would. And this is where it's like you come in and you completely sabotage that plan. So this is a person that really, when you meet them, they might not be looking for love at all. They might be completely focused on their career or on some other area of their life and be really closed off to the idea of this sort of intimate relationship. But you see how both of these, you see how both of these cards here have flowers on them. So this flower imagery on both of these cards. It's like something starts to bloom, something starts to blossom that they never anticipated. Something starts to grow in soil that they didn't think was fertile anymore, or they didn't think it was fertile to begin with. It's like you trigger that sort of growth in them. Flowers might be somehow significant in this connection when you meet this person. This could be somebody who brings you flowers, someone who you bring flowers to. So this could be vice versa. It could be that the two of you meet in a place where there's a lot of flowers, or you're meeting in nature. I just heard that somebody's named after a flower. So that's a total side note, like probably for one of you, but for one of you, your guides are making some sort of connection between your name, it might be your middle name for some of you, being a flower, that it kind of triggers something in this person. So this might be that it's the same name as like a family member of theirs, or it's their favorite flower, or every time they see this flower, they think of you, and it's like another way that they just can't get away. They can't get away from this connection. They can't get away from the way that this feels to them, because there's something that like, it just triggers them over and over again for some of you. So let's look at some tarot. See what's going on in this connection, how your future spouse or your partner recognizes you. How does your future spouse or partner recognize you? Wow. Okay. The card fly on the floor. We have the Five of Swords. Yeah. I feel like that's part of that energy that I was feeling of almost resistance, or this challenge in a way. Page of Wands. Something's challenging them, something's making them think. Maybe a bit of an internal challenge, debate, or deliberation here. Two of Wands in reverse. Let's pull one more. See if I can kind of round out that energy and get a better idea of what's going on here for them. The Tower reversed. Bottom of the deck, the Magician. Yeah, you're making them wonder what they want to create in their life. What have they been creating? What have they been manifesting? But I feel like their idea of what they want to give to something and what they want to get out of it changes when they meet you. So they definitely recognize this connection as something different right from the start, because they view it as something that's like they've never wanted to give as much of themselves to any kind of romantic connection. They've never wanted to receive so much from any romantic connection. I feel almost like they've never truly tied themselves to a romantic connection in the way that they do with you, in the way that they feel comfortable and drawn to and inspired to with you. So that's kind of taking me back to this idea of them realizing that their previous connections might not have been as intimate and connected as they wanted them to be, because I was sort of feeling that they may have felt that their previous partners didn't appreciate them, or didn't open up to them, or it just didn't feel the way that it feels with you, which really could be the case for some of you. But for some of you, this person recognizes themselves as the one that was holding back. They recognize themselves as the ones who weren't giving their all, or weren't expecting to get so much from the connection, because they really didn't feel that attached to it. So this is something that that changes for them. And this is something where I feel like there is internal debate and deliberation. This Five of Swords energy is really representing this person and how they were feeling even before, leading up to this connection. I'm seeing a major contrast between the Five of Swords and the Page of Wands here. The Five of Swords energy is the energy of being really bogged down by worries, by stress, by kind of a feeling of being defeated. And in a lot of ways, I think you have defeated this person. It's so interesting how that's coming through, but yeah, there's this feeling of sabotage. There's this feeling of so much love, but it feels like this person in a lot of ways initially in this connection is like, they just feel defeated, because as much as they may try to deny that this connection is something special, or they may try to not reach this level of intimacy, there's this internal debate going on about like, what should I do here? Like, all of my plans are being thrown out the window. Everything I thought was gonna happen, and every choice I thought I was gonna make is now up for debate. But I do feel like in general, they may have felt defeated in relationships before. They may have felt that it wasn't really worth it. Even in some cases, like no matter what they put in, they're not going to get the kind of connection out of it that they had once hoped for. And it's almost like that hope dwindles over time. That hope dwindles, and then they meet you. And then we're in this Page of Wands energy. So the Page of Wands is representing the energy and kind of capturing the energy of this freedom that they find with you. This page is really eager to pursue the passions of their heart. They're excited. They're not afraid. They throw caution to the wind and decide to live out the full expression of their deepest desires and their passions. So I think this person even finds a lot of inspiration to live out other passions in their life because of what they feel with you. A big part of why and how they recognize you as their partner or as their spouse is that their passion, it's like that passionate feeling kind of floods back into their life in every area once you're around. They start to notice things that light them up, things that make them happy. They start to move more toward things that are going to be fulfilling to them. It's like they had turned a part of themselves off. They had turned off a piece of their heart, or their entire heart. They had turned off their ability to feel things on a deeper level, and you wake that up in them, which it helps them to feel other things as well. I feel like there is a little bit of resistance with this connection, and that's coming from this person really questioning, do I want to wake up? Do I want to feel? Because when we start to feel, we feel all the things. We feel the good and the bad. We're opening ourselves up to emotions of all sorts. But I feel like this person recognizes that they can't connect with you the way that they feel naturally drawn to do if they don't let themselves feel on this deep level. It's like they start to feel their true self again. They start to maybe even feel like their childlike self in some ways. All of that kind of energy, that creative energy, that really inspired, like excited to live life energy starts emerging from them again. And they just have more of this desire to experience life at its fullest because they feel more alive than they have in a long time. I feel like this is not hard for them to recognize. I feel like it's hard for them to admit, but in terms of recognizing you, I feel like that happens very early on and immediately for this person, but it might be a little bit difficult for them to admit. I feel like in a lot of ways they felt like their life was on hold before this connection happened. Two of Wands in reverse, like all of their plans were just either not happening, or they just felt like they couldn't really make any plans, and their way of coping with that was to almost plan to do nothing, to plan to feel nothing, to plan to be closed off in a way. And so it's like all all of whatever they did plan for themselves, which was really a life on hold, I have to be honest with you, all of that just goes out the window when you come in. I feel like this person had a feeling of sleepwalking through life before you sparked whatever this is inside of them. There's this feeling that they weren't fully there. They weren't fully engaged. They weren't fully committed. They weren't really feeling. And I feel like there's something healing about this. Tower in reverse, this is about putting things back into place, bringing things back, establishing a new foundation. And in some cases, in this case, it might be rebuilding a foundation that was cracked, a foundation that crumbled. I just saw the Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. I was going to clarify, but this caught my attention. So I think this is kind of... this is an indication here of how this Tower energy happened in the first place. This person felt, they felt disconnected. They felt like they didn't have anyone to depend on. They didn't have anyone to count on. They didn't have anyone that saw them for who they really are. So they had this feeling of being alone, of being withdrawn, but almost like doing it by choice. Or at least that's what they told themselves. But there's something here that shifted where it's like they don't want to do that by choice anymore. Let's see what clarity we can get about this. I actually want to start over here with this Tower and Two of Wands. Try this Tower and Two of Wands for me, please. Wow. I feel like your guides just kind of clarified everything. We have the Nine of Pentacles, the Lover, the Wheel of Fortune, two major arcana cards coming out for you right here, and we had a major arcana in your initial little spread here. So this really is something that is changing this person on a deep level. It's huge themes in their lives. It's like huge stories they told themselves are being rewritten by this connection, and they start to notice that right away. They feel like there's this kind of divine intervention here with this Wheel of Fortune and this Lover's card. This is actually really beautiful. I'm like, it's so in line with the energy I was feeling that I didn't even fully take in, like, wow, you guys just got the Wheel of Fortune and the Lovers and the Nine of Pentacles. Like, this is a big deal. This is a big deal to this person. They recognize you as a divine partner. They recognize the hand of divinity touching this connection. It's like, again, admitting it is a whole separate issue, but they feel kind of like, they feel like they hit the jackpot here. And that feeling of hitting the jackpot is what scares them and what lets them know that this is serious and this is significant. The Nine of Pentacles, sometimes I read this card as like a single card. It's like an independent card, but it's also a card of being very fulfilled with what you have and what you have built. And I feel like this feeling of freedom and intimacy, that's where this Nine of Pentacles is coming from, because this person feels like you really see them. You really see their accomplishments. You see their special qualities. You see even their little quirks and like what's kind of weird about them, and you just appreciate all of that. So it's like they're finding more appreciation even for themselves and the lives that they've built and what they've cultivated through your eyes, and they just love they love being acknowledged on that deep level. 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. This is somebody who initially sees you as a person they want to build with, they want to build a future with, they want to have a family with, they want to make a legacy with. Like, it's that type of energy, and I feel like that's that, because your initial energy was really, really strong here, and it's like, yeah, how can they deny that? How can they deny these feelings of intimacy and this feeling of being free to be who they are? How could they possibly deny that when they feel it so early on? I just feel like I'm going to pull a couple of cards from this love story oracle and just see what's going on. Any other information we can get about this connection? How does their future spouse or partner recognize them? We have control. I'm going to pull another card. How does their future spouse or partner recognize them. Control's card 1 as well, and we also have the Magician, that Magician energy at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like there is some sort of correspondence there, and also kind of that feeling of like the one, of you being the one, them recognizing you as the one. Okay, get one more card first. Wow, there's such a transformation here. So it's so interesting you guys have the Control card. I feel like that's part of this energy of like I was talking about before, this energy of sabotaging their plans, or of changing their mind, ruining what they had laid out for themselves. And it's such odd language that's coming to mind with this. That's how I know that this person has kind of this feeling of like, I feel this, but I don't know if I want to. I feel this, but this is so foreign to me. Because it's like they know that you are it for them. They know that they want to spend their life with you, when they kind of feel like they feel out of control, to be honest. And it feels almost like they've transferred all of that control to you, because it's like you have their heart, you have this grip on their heart, and they can't really wriggle out of it like they normally would. They feel like their choices are being dictated by these feelings that they didn't necessarily choose. They want to move closer to you. They want to share with you. And it's like, they didn't choose it, but they can't help it. This is a whole new world for them. This is them venturing into mysterious territory here, into territory that is very unfamiliar to them. And it's like, they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. But it just feels like this person has a hold of my heart. That's the energy here. Yeah. So now I want to look at kind of some of the things that they really love and appreciate about you. So like, what's the biggest gift that you give to this person? What's the biggest gift that you bring into their life? Because I feel like this is a huge part of how they're recognizing this connection, or how they know this connection is significant. What's the biggest gift that you bring into their life? Okay, we had 2 cards fall out. I was going to pull 2 cards, but let me get this one off of the floor. Okay. And get situated again. Let's see. We have number 15, appreciation. This is that's that 9 of Pentacles energy. That's that freedom energy. This is what makes them feel so free. You display a lot of appreciation for them, who they are, and like their unique qualities, their unique gifts. I feel like you're very open with this person about how they make you feel, about what you love about them, what you enjoy about them, why you like spending time with them, and seeing themselves through your eyes. It brings a whole new light to the situation. It puts a whole new spin on things. They love being appreciated, and this is somebody who does things just to kind of like get that appreciation from you. Like, they want to care for you. They want to do special things for you, because it's a really reciprocal environment, and they love that you actually appreciate these things about them. They love that you gas them up. You encourage them to pursue their passions, to follow their heart, to dream, and you appreciate all of what comes out as they pursue these things. You provide this level of stability for them that is different than what they've experienced before. Even in this card, look, she's holding a flower and she's surrounded by like flower bushes. And that, again, that's a recurring theme here. So yeah, it's like they feel like they grow and they blossom because of this level of appreciation that you feel and express for them. They appreciate that. So in that way, it really is. It's very reciprocated. They appreciate being seen, and they appreciate you for being someone who cares enough to connect with somebody on a deep enough level to appreciate these very unique things about them. I want to look also at the biggest change that you inspire in this person, and we're going to take the card that flew out onto the floor. So we have man holding a coin. This is it's always really strong King of Pentacles energy for me with that card. I feel like you make this person want that stability. You make them want to settle down, dare I say, because I feel like this is somebody who maybe never saw themselves that way, or they didn't see themselves staying in a connection for a long time, but you make them want to settle down, to be stable, to be that rock, to be dependable. And I feel like this is somebody who maybe, it's like this feeling of they knew they could depend on themselves, they didn't really know they could depend on anyone else, and when they enter this connection with you, I feel like you inspire them to be more dependable because you are dependable, because you show up. And you're inspiring this in them. You're inspiring them to want that stability and to want that knowing that this connection's going to be there. And this is also, again, a feeling of you really inspire them to chase their dreams. And you lead by example by chasing your own. It's so inspirational to them. And I feel like this is somebody who might find more financial stability through chasing these dreams, pursuing some kind of passion that actually makes them financially more stable. So it's interesting. It's like your encouragement and your appreciation, I think, actually has the effect of making them more successful in their life, making them feel more successful, and making them feel like they know where they want to be. They know where their home should be. They know where their base is. They have a good foundation. I'm saying that as I'm noticing that this card's laying right on the top of the Tower card in reverse. So if we're talking about foundations here, the Tower card is all about our foundations. In its upright position, it's about destroying those foundations and rebuilding something new. And we see that there is the energy of something being rebuilt here. And what it's being rebuilt on and as is stable ground. It's being rebuilt on very stable and fertile ground, I will point out, because we have all of this flower imagery. So but their foundations are being built on a much more stable ground with you. And that's part of why there's appreciation for the lessons that they've learned before, even the hurt that they've experienced in the past, because it all led them to this place where they can be more stable and where these beliefs can be challenged and they can like land on solid ground. So it's a really beautiful feeling. It helps them to learn a lot about themselves too. Wow. Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave it there for you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed this reading, if you resonated with any of the messages here, don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below, and hit subscribe if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again in another reading really soon.